Your father sent me. I'm here to help you.
We all love Save the Princess stories, from Mario to Zelda, or maybe protect the child at all costs situations like in Demon Slayer or My Hero Academia. Well, there's no shortage of that in this second episode of Obi Wan Kenobi. Before we begin, I'd like to give you a warning that there are spoilers all throughout this video, but if you want to continue to see if the show is worth your time, then keep watching until the end. Children can be brutally honest at times, especially when they are royalty.
She was ripped to pieces by kidnappers.
We wouldn't know that personally, but you can sort of assume, I guess. Have you seen the Queen of Hearts from Alice in Wonderland? Oof. It didn't take long for us to see Obi-Wan show us the hero we know him to be. We see him travel to the urbanized port city planet of Daiyu in pursuit to save the young, iconic Princess Leia Organa, who was kidnapped in Episode 1 by Vect Nokru, played by the Red Hot Chili Peppers' Flea.
Just waiting.
For what?
For you.
Way to start off a show, kidnapping a princess. This was definitely done to bring Obi-Wan out of hiding. And as always, good heroes can't just stay hidden when a child has been abducted from an old friend. We see a clone trooper who had fought beside Anakin Skywalker down on his luck in the show. It's sad to see that even the soldiers of the Empire have fallen on hard times, due to the fact that they now only wanted large amounts of stormtroopers. Emperor Palpatine no longer cared for them to have any form of skill. However, it shows that even though his kind was a part of the Jedi's extinction, there was still money spared for him by Obi-Wan. Clones were modeled on a human template, the Mandalorian bounty hunter Jango Fett, also known as Boba Fett's father. Although their genetic structure was modified to make them less independent and more docile than their progenitor. They were also designed to age at twice the rate of natural humans, accelerating their growth and making them ready for combat in a decade's time. An interesting fact is later revealed to our hero Kenobi in regards to Anakin. We'll tell you a bit more about what happens at the end of the video, but for now, let's continue with the recap. Through talking with some of the people on the planet, it's learned that this isn't a safe place. The rate of children coming back from this planet is very low.
If she's here, you're never gonna see her again.
It is interesting to see that they decide to show a darker undertone side of the galaxy, where supposed illegal substances are sold. While we figure out the free spice given to Obi-Wan was to be used as a plot device, it's still interesting to see. The atmosphere of Daiyu definitely has a Star Wars feel about it, with some hints of cyberpunk. The planet is extremely active, and there are all sorts of activities happening with an open street market and dice games. There is also a darkness to the planet, with spice dealers promising to free users of all their problems, and an underground network working to get people off the planet and protect them from the Empire. There are also some interesting character designs. Although they are background characters, their inclusion makes it abundantly clear this is a Star Wars planet. This is intriguing because this planet may be some type of trafficking planet where criminals and other strays go to do their dirty work. This might also be a place that the Empire doesn't care too much about. Marvel Eternals actor Kumail Nanjiani does a perfect job playing Haja Estray, a chaotic good false Jedi that, though lies about who he is for money, still helps people. His presence on screens brings a laid-back tone with some comedy elements to it. We hope to see more of this character in the future. Be careful, young Padawan. You and your mother are in a dangerous world for Jedi. Even someone as great as Kenobi is in hiding. He isn't the only threat we receive in this episode either. We get to see a space Breaking Bad when Obi-Wan saves Leia, as well as having to fight his way through the bad guys. During the fight, he encounters a Zabrak, which is a member of the same species as Darth Maul. While this isn't important, we felt this had some sort of symbolism. Though Obi-Wan was a little rough around the edges, he seems to still have some of his fighting skills he worked years on learning. When the third sister puts a bounty on Obi-Wan Kenobi's head, Planet Daiyu turns into the dangerous world of John Wick 3 for our hero. The cause of all this, of course, being Reva, the third sister. It is made known that she's the lowest of all the Inquisitors because she came from the gutter.
The least of us. You came to us from the gutter.
The only reason she is there is because of her mind-probing abilities, which is seen when being used on Haja Estray to find Obi-Wan. Even though she is said as being low, her lowbrow tactics have proven to be useful and brought out Obi-Wan. This does clash with the fact orders from Superior came first before one's own decision, but it seems that Vader doesn't seem to care too much as long as Obi-Wan can be caught. From the moment he uses the Force for the first time in over a decade, to when his quick tactical thinking to save Leia proves to be a slow comeback for Obi-Wan. To think all this happened while Reva was playing Batman, acrobating off buildings to reach Obi-Wan. The show so far has not been holding back punches and really going point A to point B with the storytelling. There's nothing here you'd want to throw out of the window. Even moments of dialogue or chase scenes hold significance to go further with the story, including simple moments of dialogue with characters to understand their thinking and reasoning. The pairing of Leia's quick and blunt statements with Obi-Wan's quiet and reserved nature, you can catch some quick chuckles in between, as well as learning more about what may happen or has happened to each character. The backstabbing of the Grand Inquisitor was something that didn't bring forth emotion, but rather more of an I saw that coming. Well, now he knows how it feels to be backstabbed. Actually, it was rather the front stabbed? Anyway, I'm sure you get the point. While Obi-Wan hides from her, she decides to mention that Anakin, being Darth Vader, is alive and looking for him. Shaking, Obi-Wan's thoughts flood through his head, as this information is the last thing he wanted. Reva, knowing that Darth Vader is Anakin, doesn't feel right in a way. Knowing that Skywalker used to once be someone that worked for the light side can show weakness to some people. However, this proves that Reva's mind probing knows no lengths and will even enter Vader's mind. This also raises the question, is it more effective when she touches, as she did with Haja? Our heroes make it onto the ship just in the nick of time to fly away. Still not sure why Reva didn't just jump on the side of the ship like most villains do. As we reach the halfway point in the episode, bridges are starting to be built, not only between the beginning and the end of this chapter of Obi-Wan's life, but also the wider gap between the movies, notably Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. Obi-Wan has become the catalyst of Darth Vader's revenge and the source of Leia's hope, the balance in the Force personified, which requires him to remain level-headed when the world around him is something he lost touch with. It becomes something he struggles with as the stakes become increasingly more personal. Obi Wan Kenobi has little to prove when it comes to this story, but it does need to go some ways to convince us of its actual potential. Very little of these premiere episodes are action-focused. Instead, it decides to use lightsabers as terrifying tools of interrogation rather than swords. This is the scene when the Grand Inquisitor interrogates bounty hunter Vect Nokru. But chase sequences and shootouts so far feel simple being compared to the best of the Mandalorian's action direction. Things will inevitably heat up as the story progresses, and so we just hope Chow's action directing finds its footing by the time humming blades finally clash. While on the ship to bring Leia back home, there is something that haunts Obi-Wan that the third sister told him. Anakin is still alive, and Anakin looks a lot like All for One from My Hero Academia. He now goes by the name of Darth Vader, but we're sure you all know that.